All right, welcome to the NRL Season 3, Round 11. We're in Singapore, Marina Bay for the 23-turn, 5.063 kilometre circuit. We'll be doing full qualifying tonight if you've not joined us before, so welcome. Let's get things underway. So I'll get all of my stuff set up here. Alright, so let's talk a little bit about last week. So last week, looks like someone's already having some issues coming out of the pits there. Let's talk about last week. We were in Spa, so was an interesting race. So we had the short quali last week due to some connectivity issues. So it had to be abandoned, the full qualification. So hopefully that doesn't repeat tonight. It was Stein who put it on pole last week from Tosta Caber and Kachow, and then Henry Rogers was P4. So great outing for Henry Rogers, his first time in the league. In terms of the race, it was an alright race. It was didn't have too many sort of events that really sort of spring to mind. It was Kachow who took it out last week, so it was an excellent drive from him. Honesy took P2, and it was good to see Tosta Caber finally got on the podium in P3. So he had a little bit of luck. He had a different helmet last week, so we'll have to see. If he rocks it again. It was a tribute helmet, but we'll see if he brings it on again. Fastest lap went to Honesy. The top team was Williams, and the driver of the day, as voted by everyone in the league, was Exotic. So good to see Exotic get some recognition. He finished P4 last week, so I think that was one of his better finishing positions. In terms of the championship, it's good to see Pump on Purpose is back this week. He's been away for a little bit. In terms of the championship, we're looking at Honesy is still P1, so he's on 154 points. Stein is in P2 on 131, and then Kachow moved up into P3 last week on 110. Dommy Lee was one of the first races, I think, of the year that he didn't actually get any points. So other than Australia, where he was a DNF, he had scored points in every other race. So first time he finished out of the points. As we see, Mark of Kenya is joining us late. Better late than never. So it was Kachow who was on 110, Dommy Lee on 92, Cornet on 75, Stuart Little 63, and then Exotic, Tosta Caber, Mark of Kenya, and Ben Smith, point scoring machine. Ben Smith, tiny dart spike in the other Red Bull. Just as we're riding along with Delta Lima, we'll check out the Constructors' Championship. We're looking at AlphaTauri continuing to lead there on 178 points. Williams had a great haul of points last week, so they're 165. And then Ferrari 157, Red Bull 143, and Mercedes 116, and then it's the rest after that. So let's Delta Lima's going to the pits. See if we can Yurtis looks like he's out there on a lap, and that might be Ted Wardo as well. So Ted Wardo last week in qualifying had an alright result, I think it was. Does tend to qualify quite well. It was P15 he qualified last week, so hopefully he can do a bit better this week. Mr. Woot goes a 136.6 for our first time lap. I see Sam Spaniel coming through there as well. He sets a 136.6. World record time for this track is a 131.7. So we'll see how close they can get to that tonight, as we see Yurtis about to set his fast time, so a 136.4. So his provisional pole, he's P1 at the moment for this session, as we're on board with Honesy. Looks like he's got some kind of new helmet. I'm liking it, whatever it is. So looking good. So our championship leader turning up for the moment. Here's Henry Rogers. So Henry Rogers had a good first outing last week. he goes significantly faster than the others. So 1:34.8 for Henry Rogers there. Stuart Little is just beginning his timed lap at the moment. Pump on Purpose, yeah, hasn't been here for a little while. And he sets a 1:36.3 to go, currently P2 at the moment. So good time from Pump on Purpose. Good to have him back. Here's Ted Wardo setting his time, a 1:36.9. So not too bad from him. We see Kachow, last week's winner, sets a 1:35.5. All right. So we've got a few times coming in at the moment. Got a couple of other guys out on the track. A few more in the pits as well. I think this is Mr. Woot. He's on his cool-down lap at the moment. I see a Red Bull out there. Yeah, that's Dommy Lee on his out lap at the moment. So just got a few guys on their out laps. Honesy looks like he's on a fast lap at the moment. So we'll catch up with him as he heads through turn 2021. Yeah, then there's the left-hander of 22. You want to try and see, let's see how flat he can take this through there. Not too bad. 1:34.6. So he goes fastest for the session so far. Stuart Little's out there at the moment, just coming under the bridge of turn 18. Rides those curbs. That's the secret to this track, using all of the track, using all of the curbs as much as you possibly can, legally of course. As we see Stuart Little cross the line on a 1:35, but it looks like that time, oh no, 1:35, almost 1:35 flat. So good time from Stuart Little there. He's had a bit of an interesting run of it lately. Last week was a good result for him though. It was P6. The week before was P16. So he's had some sort of up and down results. I think Stein, he's just beginning his lap at the moment. Exotics on his out lap. So we'll stick with Stein for the moment. So he's P2. Mr. Consistency, Stein. So in terms of points and in terms of qualifying as well. So he's only missed out on Q3 twice so far this season. So he's been a consistent qualifier, but he's also been a consistent point scorer as well. Looks like Dommy Lee's out on his fast lap. He goes a 1:34.6. So times are starting to drop a little bit at the moment as we see Dommy Lee set the fastest time for the session so far. We'll get back to... where will we go? Stein. We'll get back to Stein because he's on his fast lap at the moment. He set a purple sector 2 as he comes through turn 14 there. So we've got just under 10 minutes left of Q1 at the moment. It's Dommy Lee on in P1 with a 34.6 currently. So a good time from Dommy Lee. He has qualified in Q3 every single race this year, so we'll see if he can continue that streak. As we see Stein goes a 1:35, almost 1:35 flat, so good enough for P5 at the moment. FedEx runner in the McLaren, so he recently became this week. He was became the full-time driver in the McLaren. So I believe Will Ans was he's left the league, and FedEx runner is fitted into that seat, as well as Henry Rogers. So they're the two full-time drivers for the McLaren team. So as we're on board with Kelly Robb. So Kelly Robb, new to the league. Well, yeah, kind of new to the league. He's been around for a little while now. So he's qualifying. He's gone Q3, Q2, Q3, so he's going into the pits at the moment. See most guys out there on the softs as well. We'll check tyres in a second as we check if we get on board with one. So one goes a 1:36.8, so that's good enough for P11. What about Exotic? He goes a 1:36.4, P10. So nice by Exotic. Toss the Caber, Delta Lima, Marky Kenya, Tiny Darspike, Dace, Kelly Robb and FedEx Runner all yet to set a time at the moment as we go down to 8 minutes remaining in the session. think that's Sam Spaniel getting past FedEx runner there. Alright, I'll try and just pick up everyone as we go along. Just trying to see who's on the fast lap. I believe, this is Dace. Alright, Dace TG. Dace usually has good qualifying pace. He's usually up there in quali, but can sometimes, don't know what happens to him in the race. As we're on board with Toss, so Toss has gone back to the classic Michael Schumacher helmet. I think Tiny Darthspike's just crossing the line to begin his time lap. Mark for Kenya, he's out early in Q1. He's usually a late starter, but he goes a 1:35.6, so good enough for P8 at the moment. Let's get back to Toss. So this is his first flying lap. It's looking good at the moment. It's not invalidated. He goes a 1:35.3, so that's good enough for P6 currently. Let's get back to Dace. We'll see where he... looks like has he abandoned his lap? Yeah, he has. Alright. Okay, so who are the other guys out there? Tiny Darthspike. So turn 10, the old Singapore sling. As he comes across the bridge, yep, the turn 13 hairpin. Get the power down. Get a nice run up the back straight. And he set a purple sector as well, purple sector 2 at the moment as he comes to turn 14. It's looking good at the... Oh, he's hit the wall there. We'll see if it makes much of a difference. Doesn't have any damage. Looks like he's continuing the lap. Yep, so he's going to continue on. We've got just under 6 minutes left in Q1 at the moment. And Tiny Darthspike sets a 1:35.9, so that's good enough for P10. So we're just waiting on Kelly Robb, FedEx Runner, and Delta Lima to set a time at the moment. Just try and pick up... Oh, it's Sam Spaniel. Alright, we've got two Alpha Tauris. Delta Lima's joined. So yeah, FedEx Runner, Kelly Robb, and Delta Lima yet to set a time. So it looks like everyone's either on an out lap or they're heading into the pits. So we'll have a little bit of a lull here before we get going again. As we see Dace TG crosses the line. He goes a 1:35.4, so that's good enough for P8 at the moment. So drivers at risk are Juan, Ted Wardo, FedEx Runner, Kelly Robb, and Delta Lima currently with 4.5 minutes left. Tiny Darthspike's coming in at the moment, so track is pretty quiet currently. It'll give us an opportunity to have a look at some of the qualifying results. So as we're on board with Tiny Darthspike here, we can see, yeah, Australia he got out of Q2, round 2 is Q1. So he's had a decent qualifying. But we're in the race where he generally shines, Ben Smith. So he sort of hovers around Australia was a DNF. I'll get back to that in a second. Sam Spaniel is on a fast lap as we ride on board with Sam Spaniel. So Ben Smith was DNF 10th, 6th, 5th, 7th, 9th, 10th, 7th, 8th and 7th. So best finish of 5th, and he has a worst finish of 10th. So the guy consistently scores points. We've got one on an outlap, so we've got just under 3.5 minutes. We're still waiting for FedEx Runner, Kelly Robb, and Delta Lima to set a time. Where are they on the track? This is Kelly Robb. We've got just over 3 minutes left in this Q1 session. Ted Wardo's on an outlap at the moment, so we'll try and pick him up as we'll stay on board with Kelly Robb, who's been a good I think this is his 4th race in the league, so he's had some decent results. Just bringing up his results now. Kelly Robb. Last week was a good result for him. He was a good no, it wasn't. Let me get back to that. We'll get back to that in a second. We'll stick on board with him now. So it's a 1:35.1 for Kelly Robb. So good enough for P6 at the moment. Let's get to FedEx Runner. So this is his first set time. He goes a 1:35.5, so good enough for P11 at the moment. Ted Wardo's on his outlap at the moment. So this is his last go of it. And it looks like everyone has set their times on the softs. So if we're looking at strategy, if you're doing a 2-stopper, you'd probably look at a soft, medium, medium. If you're doing a 1-stopper, you could go the medium hard. Softs generally last between 7 to 9 laps around here. Your mediums around 16 to 18, and the hards sort of 25 plus laps. Alright, Marco Kenya's retired from the session. He's not in the drop zone at the moment. Juan is, and he's just beginning his lap at the moment. He's 7/10 up. So that would get him out of P15. As we see his teammate trailing behind him. Oh, he's pulled out of it. Alright, so that's going to be... That's a bit risky. Pump on Purpose is on an outlap at the moment. So is Sam Spaniel, and so is Exotic. And so, what about Ted Wardo? Ted Wardo pulled out of it, did he? No. So Ted Wardo's the first in line. Delta Lima's finally out on his outlap. So we'll see if he can get into Q2. We'll stay on board with Ted Wardo. Generally decent qualifier, Ted Wardo. Where does he come out? So he comes across the line, a 1:36.5, so not good enough to get out of the drop zone. Exotic starting his outlap at the moment. No, this would be he's finished his outlap, sorry. He's finished his outlap. He is on a fast one at the moment. This was one. He's on a cooldown, so that's alright. So we'll try and looks like Pump on Purpose has stopped, so no, he hasn't. He's still going. No, so he's out. So a 1:36.6. P16, he's done for the session, so he's going to be not making his way through to Q2. Where's Delta Lima? Alright, so it'll be Ted Wardo will be the first one across the line as he heads around turn 13. About to head up Esplanade Drive for the turn 14 right-handers. We see Kachow go fastest with a 1:34.6. We'll stay on board with Ted Wardo though. We'll see if he can get out of Q1. No, where's he gone? He's gone down the escape road. Alright, so that's over for him. Sam Spaniel is on a timed lap. What about Exotic? Alright, he'll catch up with Exotic now. He's currently P18 at the moment. He has a 1:36.4 as his best time. He can't beat that, so he's going to be P18 at the moment. What about Delta Lima? This is his one and only timed run for the session. Runs a little bit wide there. Yeah, I don't think it's going to be good enough to get out. No, so Delta Lima, he's going to finish P20. Ted Wardo, no, he's out as well. So it looks like our drop zone is Delta Lima, Ted Wardo, Exotic, Sam Spaniel, and Pump on Purpose. Good time there from Kachow at 1:34.6. He's in very good. He's in good form at the moment. He's driving very well. So we'll see if he can carry that over into Q2 and into Q3 and into the race. So Pump on Purpose, Sam Spaniel, Exotic, Ted Watto and Delta Lima are our drop participants. They won't be progressing through to Q2. All right, here we go. Q2. So, I see we only have 14 runners. Not too sure who's dropped off there. Had 6 runners drop out instead of the 5. All right, we'll work that out later. So who have we got? Kachow, FedEx Runner, Stein, Callie Robb, Dommy Lee, Dace, Yurtis, Henry Rogers, Tiny Darspike, Honesy. Good to see Mr. Woot in Q2. 1, Stuart Little, Toss the Caber. Oh, is it Mark and Kenya who we've lost? Maybe having some sort of connectivity issue. Is the lobby having some kind of connectivity issue? No. So because Mark of Kenya joined late, he's out of Q1. So that's why we've lost him. All right. We've got someone coming out of the pits. Looks like it's Yurtis. So that means that Mark of Kenya will start last. So that's that glitch if you come in once the lobby started, no matter where you qualify. We saw that happen with Kelly Robb as well. I think last week we saw that happen with him. Yeah, we did in Belgium. So that's just how it goes. You can't really do too much about that. So we'll have to keep an eye on Mark of Kenya. We know that he's. If you've watched any of the other races, you will know that Mark of Kenya is generally someone who does make his way up through the pack pretty rapidly. Dommy Lee for the league does a whole bunch of stats, and I think he does overtakes on first lap usually, and you find that Mark of Kenya is usually right up there. So we'll see if anyone is everyone's fitted. So yep. So we can see some of the guys going for the medium tyre strategy. So pretty much everyone except FedEx Runner, Kelly Robb, Yurtis, and Toss the Caber are choosing to go the mediums. So we'll see how that does pan out. A one stopper is obviously optimal around here. The medium hard will get you around with a one stopper. If you start on the softs, it's usually a two stop strategy. All right. So Yurtis has the track to himself. I see one of the McLarens is out there. That's Henry Rogers. We're right on board with Yurtis. Good to see Yurtis in Q2 as well. Just pulling up his quality results. So the last 4 races that we did full qualifying, he's made it into Q2. He's yet to... he made it into Q3 in round 1 this year. So he's yet to make it out of Q2 into Q3 since Australia, round 1. So we'll see if he can break that streak today, if he can get into Q3. So that was Henry Rogers, I believe, in the McLaren, weaving away through there. So it was a 1:34.6 was the time set by Kachow in Q1. So that will give us a bit of a guide. That was on the soft tyre as well. So we'll see what they're going to do on the mediums. As we see Yerdis coming around the final turn. And he goes a 1:35.9. So our first timed lap for Q2. Got 10 minutes left. Who else do we have out here? This is FedEx Runner. Looks like Henry Rogers is about to start a lap. So Henry Rogers last week, he qualified P4 last week. Henry Rogers, so had a good quali. He's got the, it's not the classic Michael Schumacher helmet, it's that 70th anniversary tribute helmet. Track's starting to get a little bit busier now. Got a few more cars out on track. It's a pretty long track, so obviously being 23 turns, the most turns on the calendar, over 5 kilometers in length. So it is relatively easy to get the space that you need. So you generally don't really sort of have too much troubles. And we see Henry Rogers, he's on the mediums. He rides that curb pretty close. So let's see if he gets on the power nicely. Yeah, nice and smooth. Assists are allowed in this league as well. So this isn't a 0 assist league. Yeah, a few cars out there at the moment. But let's stay on board with Henry Rogers. Let's ride him home. Let's see what time he can set. So yeah, he was P4 last week quali in Spa. Good to have him on board. He's quick. He had a good race as well. Finished P9 last week. And he sets a 1:35.6 on the mediums. So not bad, not a bad time on the medium tyres. Looks like Juan is on a fast lap as well. He's on the mediums too. Oh, nice helmet, Juan. I don't know if that's new. But that goes a 1:36.5 for the Alfa Romeo driver. Dommy Lee goes fastest with a 1:35.3. So that was on the mediums as well. So that's not a bad time, considering that there was a 1:34.6 on the soft. Whoa, as we see FedEx Runner use all the curb. He goes a 1:35.1 on the mediums too. So some fast laps coming from the guys on the mediums. Mr. Woot he did race last week. He finished P20. So he qualified 17th and finished 20th, Mr. Woot. So we'll see if he can go a little bit better today. There's a yellow flag in Sector 1, Sector 2. Should be alright though. As he just navigates past the McLaren there. So far the time to beat's a 1:35.1 on the mediums, and that was from FedEx Runner in the McLaren. We'll stay on board with Mr. Woot as he comes under the bridge at turn 18. And turn 20, 21, riding all those curbs. Set it up nicely for 22 and 23. Try and take it as flat as you can. Use all the track, come across the line. It's a 1:36.2 for Mr. Woot. So we'll see how he goes with that. I think Toss is coming around for his lap. A 1:35.8 from Toss the Caber. That's good enough for P4 at the moment. I think Dace TG is going around Honesy's on his outlap. Let's see what Cully Rob's got. He's coming through under the bridge again, turn 18. So this will be his first fast time. We have just over 6 minutes left in Q2. This is round 11 of Season 3 of the Nemesis Racing League. And we're watching Cully Rob set a 1:35.2 on the medium tyre. So there's a couple of McLarens out there. Tiny Dark Spike's going into the pits. I'll try and... I think Honesy's on a fast lap at the moment, or is Dace is... Alright, let's get on board with Dace. I think most of the guys now are on the medium tyres. Yeah, they are, bar Yurtis. Alright, so everyone's on the medium, so the one stopper is on at the moment. Looks like the strategy, the optimal strategy everyone's looking at. Some of these guys race in the Switchback Racing League, so they raced in Singapore last week. So they'll have some good, would have had some good practice already. So they'd be familiar with their strategy they want to set. And we see Dace set a 1:35.8. Mr. Woot sets a 1:35.8 for P6. What about Honesy, our championship leader? What does he have at the moment? This is his first time lap. It set a sector 3 yellow flag. I can't see anything there. Hits the wall coming out of 21 there. And he is going to go a 1:34.7. So a championship leader goes to P1 of the timing sheets. So he's had some interesting qualies lately, Honesy. But nothing interesting about a 1:34.7. That's just good. There's Mr. Woot. We'll see if he's actually setting a time. No, I don't think he... No, he's definitely not setting a time at the moment. Alright. So we just have over 4 minutes left. Kachow, Stein and Tiny Dartspike are all yet to set a time at the moment. Would probably want to get a bit of a move on to actually do one. We'll see how they go, as I think there's Yurtis is about to leave the pits at the moment. So we've got a bit of a lull again. We'll let's have a look at quali results. Just check with Mr. Wirt. Yeah, that's definitely a cool down lap. I think Honesy is on a cool down lap as well. Alright, so it'll be Yurtis as well. Dommy Lee is looking good at the moment to continue his streak of the only driver to make it into Q3 in every single round. Obviously last week we didn't have the full qualifying, but he did qualify P6 last week. It was the first race for a while that he didn't get any that he didn't score any points, so he had a bit of an incident I think early in the race. Ended up finishing P15 last week, so he'll want to make amends for that, try and get some more points this week, and also, yeah, continue his Q3 streak at the moment, which is very impressive. Him along with, yeah, the other guys like, yeah, Stein, he's done great. He's missed Q3 only twice this year. Honesy has missed Q3 once this year. He didn't race in round 4. So, yeah, so he's also had a very, very strong qualifying in the Nemesis Racing League. Alright, so Yurtis is about to start his lap. Let's ride on board with him, I reckon, because there's not too many guys out there. So we've got just over 2 minutes left in this Q2 session. It's Kachow, Stein and Tiny Darspike yet to set a time. Stein is out there. Kachow is out there. Tiny Darspike is not. It looks like he is coming out of the pits now, though. So he'll have to rush around to get across the line to set a time. We're doing 1:34s at the moment. We've got 1:40 left. So he's almost going to have to do a fast lap straight away. And it looks like both the Red Bulls are coming out line astern at the moment. So a bit of a flurry of activity beginning in the late stages of Q2. So we'll set us up for an exciting finish. So the guys that are at risk at the moment is Juan, Kachow, Stein and Tiny Darspike, but they're all out on track. So is Stuart Little, and we're on board with Yurtis, who's in the danger zone as well. He's P10 at the moment. So let's see if he can improve that time and get into Q3 for the first time since round 1 in Australia. As he comes around turn 15, just a little left-hander kink. Then you got the right-hander of 16, 17 on the Esplanade. Then turn 18's underneath the bridge. Turn 19, the right-hander. You want to use all the curb there. Set the car up for 2021, the left-hander. And try and get a good run through 22, 23. Clip the inside curb, gets a nice drive off there, and that's not going to improve his position at the moment. Kachow's on his outlap. I'm just trying to get the guys who are at risk at the moment. Yeah, a few drivers on outlaps currently. Is Stuart Little on a fast one? He is. So Stuart Little, he's in the danger zone at the moment. He's in P9 with a 135.8. He's out on the softs at the moment. So we'll see if he continues around. He does, yep. Alright, he goes a 135.2, so he goes P4. So Stuart Little just shores up his position. Toss the Caber has gone into the pits by the looks of it. He's finished his session. Juan goes into P7, so good result for Juan at the moment. We'll see if he can stay there as we pick up the championship leader. That is a cracking result for Juan. This is the first time he's even been in Q2 this season. So if he can get to Q3, that's a sensational result. As we're looking at P2 in the championship, Stein goes to P8, a 135.6. Yurtis is on a cooldown lap at the moment. Alright, Kachow, who's in the danger zone. Toss the Caber is essentially out of the session. So he's currently P11 and he's in the pits. So he's not going to be improving that time. So the clock has ticked over to triple zeros. Here's Kachow in his Ayrton Senna-esque helmet. Goes a 135.1. So the German says, hey, I got this, don't worry. What about Tiny Darspike? What is he set? A 135.6. So he's out. He's out. He's in P11. So it's Tiny Darspike in P11. Mr. Woot in P12. So not a bad result for Mr. Woot. Toss the Caber in P13. And then Yurtis in P14. So it was a 134.7. And I believe that was on the mediums as well from Honesy. The fastest lap in that session. It was a 134.6 by Kachow in Q1 on the soft. So it looks like the track is getting a bit faster. I'll have to double check that. I believe it was the mediums. Yeah, it was the mediums from Honesy. So showing his pace. Yeah, Kachow was half a second slower on that one. He was on the mediums as well. Yeah, so he was half a second slower than his Q1 time on the medium. So we'll see how that pans out. But yeah, so it's Tiny Darspike, Mr. Woot, Toss the Caber, and Yurtis are the ones that will be departing. It's going to be Henry, Rogers, Stein, and Juan. What a result for Juan! Like, so we're looking at. Just looking at his results. So Q didn't get out of Q1 in Australia. I don't think he raced in round 2. Round 3, round 4, round 5, he didn't get out of Q1. Round 6, didn't race. Round 7, round 8, he did not get out of Q1. Then round 9, he didn't race. And then last week, he qualified P16. So I have no idea where this has come from, but that doesn't matter. What does matter is that Juan has made his first trip to Q3. So well done to Juan for joining the rest of the guys in Q3. Good job. Dommy Lee, again, he's continued the streak, Q3, so only driver to make it through to every single Q3 of the season so far. Hopefully he can convert that into a points finish after last week. And then you've got some Henry Rogers. Good to see Henry Rogers up there again, a newcomer to the league. Qualified 4th last week in P10 today. Stein, it's pretty standard to see him in Q3. Dace TG. So let's see if Dace can convert his qualifying pace into the race this week. Stuart Little, another strong result for Stuart Little. Had a bit of a dirty weekend last weekend. No, he didn't. The weekend before he did. He was P20 in qualification, and then he finished P16. That was round 9 in France. So good to see him bouncing back. Callie Robb has performed strongly since he's joined the league. And then Kachow, pretty standard for him and Honesy. And FedEx runner as well. So he qualified last week, FedEx runner. He was P19 and he finished P13. So good to see him making a visit to Q3. Alright, so hopefully it hasn't glitched out. We'll have to wait and see. Alright, so we're obviously having some technical difficulties. I think that, yeah, we've lost the lobby, so we're gonna do Q2. So Q2 positions is what we're going to start on. So it'll be Honesy, FedEx Runner, Kachow, Kelly Robb, Stuart Little, Dommy Lee, Dace, Wan, Stein, and Henry Rogers will be the top 10. So it'll just be based on Q2 results. Hopefully we can get going soon. Alright, looks like we are about to get back underway. So it's going to be the Q2 results will be the starting grid for the top 10. So that was Honesy, FedEx Runner, Kachow, Kelly Robb, Stuart Little, Dommy Lee, Dace, Juan, Stein, and Henry Rogers. Alright, so yeah, everyone will need to remember to set their setups. And also the correct tyres. So this is going to play a little bit with the strategy too. Alright, hopefully it all loads. We don't have any more issues with the lobby and we can get a good race. Singapore, high propensity for a safety car. But from memory, we had a safety car in Australia. I can't really recall us getting another safety car this season. So, yeah, that will be interesting. It'll be interesting. Hopefully we don't have a safety car. The racing can be a little bit spread out through here though, so it can be a little bit pedestrian. But hopefully these guys can provide us a bit of action tonight. All right. Ugh. All right. Round 11 of Season 3 of the Nemesis Racing League. If you're joining us for the first time, welcome aboard. If you're a regular watcher, welcome back. Whether you're watching live or on replay. All right. All right, that's it. Beautiful. So, doesn't look like we have any issues with people getting away off the line. Looks like everyone's managed to get away. Let's look at tyres. Okay, so it is soft runners. It's Stuart Little. It's Juan, Yurtis, Ted Wardo, and Mark of Kenya. Hard runners, Tiny Dartspike, and Toss the Caber. So, looking for the one stoppers there. So, as I was saying before, yeah, sort of 7 to 9 laps is the soft. The mediums last generally sort of 16 to 18 laps, and the hards are 25 plus. So, the guys starting on the hards definitely want to go the one stopper. So do the medium runners. The soft runners generally a two stopper. So we've got a bit of a variety of strategies out there. So we'll have to keep an eye on all of them, see how they all play out. Hopefully it can spice things up and keep it interesting. And we get a nice, exciting race, competitive. Don't really need to worry about making sure that asking if it's going to be clean racing, because it usually is pretty clean and respectful in this league. Most of the time. Mr. Woot has left the session. He always has internet issues, Mr. Woot. There's always something going on with his internet, so hopefully he can get back. Yeah, so everyone's making it around all right. Mr. Woot's ghosted out. Hopefully he can get back in there before the start of the race. So they're all gridding up. Oh, surely Cody's, you're not going to give us that, are you? Yeah, they are. All right, we'll start with Henry Rogers. Do we get a better one? No, come on. That's kind of a rubbish camera angle. Oh, that'll do. That should do. All right, 3 lights, 4 lights, almost 5 lights. Didn't hold him for very long, so it looks like Honesy got a good start. FedEx runner was in there as well. Kachow, Kelly Robb making a move on Kachow. Doesn't look like he got 3 days. He got P4 still. Stuart Little's in there. Mr. Woot still ghosted out. I don't see any contact yet between anyone, which is good. Oh no, who was that? Was that Juan who spun around? It is. So Juan had contact. That is through turn 5 at the moment. So Juan had his best qualifying session of the season. And we've got a safety car. All right, safety car straight away. Okay, so has anyone else? So FedEx runner is out. So as we're on board with Juan, FedEx runner has had some sort of incident. Let's see, terminal damage, McLaren terminal damage, FedEx runner. All right, so he's crashed out. He's the one who's caused the safety car. Let's see if I don't think anyone's going to pit. Surely no one would pit now. I'd assume not, but yeah. All right, so we probably only get 1 lap of the safety car. Hopefully this is the only the second safety car I can remember for this league. So Juan's been the big loser there. He's dropped down 11 positions. Mark of Kenya, he made up 3. So did Delta Lima, Ted Watto and Exotic. Pump on Purpose and Yurtis made up 4 positions. Henry Rogers made up 3. Honesy stayed the same, but Dace made up 2. So we had some good position changes there. Alright, so I highly doubt anyone is going to pit. But stranger things have happened. I didn't see anyone with damage either. So everyone looks like they're alright at the moment. Yeah. Or Exotic. Okay, so he might have had some damage. Let's see if he has to change his nose. He's going back onto the mediums. Another set of mediums. But no, drive-through. Oh, no, it wasn't drive-through. He's going hards. Alright, and there was no damage. So this is a strategy play. He's gone onto the hard tyres. Wouldn't... look, you could make them last to the end of the race if you... if we maybe had another safety car or 2 and you managed them really well. But they'd be feeling pretty rough by the end of the race, I would say, if you were to try and take them through to the end. Alright, so this should be the only lap under the safety car, because the field was already pretty well bunched. Juan's pitted in there as well, so just Juan and Exotic catching up. They're just heading through turn 8 and 7 at the moment, so they'll hopefully catch up to the rest. Yeah, I'm not too sure if Juan's always had that helmet, if I've just never noticed, but yeah, looking good, Juan. I like it. Let's hope he can make up for that poor start. Best quality of the year. Probably worst start of the year now. So, alright, so they're catching up. That's good. Fingers crossed we can get back racing at the end of this safety car lap. So it's Honesy from Kachow, Kelly Robb, Stuart Little, Dace, Dommy Lee, Henry Rogers, Stein, and Tiny Darthspike makes up the top 10. Let's see. It's doing that weird thing again. Oh, we're going to go another lap with the safety car. That's disappointing. Alright, so we're going to do one more lap of the safety car. We've had Exotic who pitted. He went for the hards. There was no wing damage there. One had the issue. He got spun around. I didn't quite see who he had contact with. Mark Kenya is pitting, so he's going for the medium tyres. So he was down in P17 anyway. He started last because he joined the session late. So that's all right for him. All right. All right, so let's. This will definitely be the last lap. Okay. So, yeah, I'm just having a look at the Discord. I don't know if there's something going on there. All right, we're just safety cars in this lap. That's good. As they're heading around turn 14 at the moment. So eventually Honesy will back him up. And he'll essentially become the safety car. And we'll get it back under racing. Comes through turn 17. Turn 18 will be under the bridge, left-hander. And he's got that glitch where it makes the car sound weird, so we'll stay off him for now. So this will be interesting. Kachau's been in really good form lately. So this is going to be a cracking battle between these two. Callie Robb's been fast since he's got into the league. Stuart Little's always in there. Dace TG with the race pace. So it's Honesy leading them away to get the restart underway. Oh, was that someone at the back? Henry Rogers. Oh no, we've had a massive crash here. That's Ted Wood. No, Yurtis. Yurtis is in there. Who else was in there? That was huge. That was Toss the Caber has got damage. Oh no, so Toss has one in there. No, Yurtis. I think Henry Rogers was involved in there possibly. I thought I saw a McLaren. As we've got Delta Lima in P16 at the moment, P13 at the moment. So Yurtis is out. Toss the Caber's got damage. He's going to have to limp around. We'll stay with these guys for now. That was a huge crash. So that was Sam Spaniel. Mark Kenya has passed him. Has Sam Spaniel got an issue? No, he doesn't. Alright, so that was coming around, I think that was around sort of turn 3, turn 4. Mr. Woot has worked his way up into P10, so good for Mr. Woot. Pump on purpose, his first race back for a while. He's in P9. What about Henry Rogers making a move on Ted Wardo? I think that's coming out of turn 13 there on the long straight. So Yurtis is out. So disappointing for Yurtis. It started off great, but that's pretty much where it finished. Alright, what about at the front? It's Honesy leading from Kachau, Callie Robb, Stuart Little and Dace TG. We're on board with Dommy Lee here at the moment in P6. Stein is just behind him. Tiny Darspike's moved up a couple of positions. And then, yeah, Pump on Purpose and Mr. Woot. So, Toss the Caber is, I think he'll be coming into the pits. He's still limping around, so he's going to have to get that front wing replaced and get back on track. All right. So Stuart Little now trying to put the move on Callie Robb. That was into turn 5. Stuart Little's been able to hold firm. No, Callie Robb's been able to hold firm, sorry. So this is for P3 and P4. As they head around the left-hander at turn 7. So passing opportunities here can be a little bit limited. So it does sort of encourage brave moves. Got the DRS straights, but they can sometimes not really be, even with DRS, not be that effective. So we'll stay on board with this little fight at the moment. It's Honesy though, our leader. He's almost a second ahead of Kachow at the moment, and Callie Robbs a further second behind Kachow, and then this is Stuart Little, who's just behind Callie Robbs. So we can see our top 4 at the moment. So we've had a bit of excitement already. So Yurtis and FedEx Runner have already dropped out through terminal incidents, and Toss the Caber had to pit as well. No penalties as yet. We're at lap 5 of 31, so that's good. Although Stuart Little is pushing it a little bit with that corner cutting, as Honesy sets the fastest time of a 1:39.6. Good to see Delta Lima up there. He's P15, having a good result so far. Mark of Kenya, he's moved up into P13, so he's pitted as well. Mark of Kenya's made up 7 positions. Juan's dropped 7. Pump on Purpose has made up 6 as well. So we've had some good movers and shakers there so far. No surprise to see Mark of Kenya making his way up through the field at the moment. He's 3.4 seconds behind Ted Water though at the moment, so we'll keep an eye on him as he progresses. Dommy Lee's trying to close in on Dace TG. So good to see Dace TG turning his qualifying pace into race pace at the moment. As they go across the bridge. Turn 13, hairpin turn. Is Dace chasing down Stuart Little? He is. Alright, so Stuart Little's dropped back a little bit from Callie Robb. Callie Robb's making some inroads into Kachow at the moment. It's only a half a second gap between those two. Stein is chasing down Dommy Lee. It's less than, it's 4/10 currently as it sits. So he's in the points currently. His is P2 in the championship. AlphaTauri leading the constructors. But oh no, who was that? That was Pump on Purpose. That was Pump on Purpose. So he's gone around at the last turn. He's lost it. Just saw that in the background. So he's got front wing damage. He's going to have to pit. Ted Wardo's pitting as well. So is this a strategy call, or did he have any damage? Looks like it might be a strategy call. No, it is. He's had damage. All right. So that would have moved Mark of Kenya up into P11. And that's... Oh, this is Delta Lima. So he's had some damage there as well. So we've either collided with the wall or with someone. But yeah, Pump on Purpose. He's going to have to go all the way around again to get back into the pit. So his race is not looking good at the moment. So here's Juan. He's P13. Sorry, Juan is still with us. It was Yurtis and Juan I was getting confused with. Alright, so Juan's still having a good result at the moment. He's P13. Callie Robb, though, is putting all kinds of pressure on Kachow at the moment. So they're both on the medium tyres. This is the closest we've got on circuit currently. There's a few other battles. Dommy Lee and Stein are going for it hammer and tong at the moment. So we might flick back between those two. If there's an so it looks like Stuart Little's pitted. All right, so that looks like that's basic strategy. And this is Stein going around the outside of turn 1 around Dommy Lee. He's still fighting for it. No, he can't get it done. So he'll remain in P6 at the moment. but that's getting pretty close currently. Callie Robb, though, has all of a sudden dropped back from Kachow. Looks like we've lost another one. So Toss the Caber has left the session as we see Stein going around the outside of Dommy Lee into turn 8, the right-hander, now turn 9, so he's got the nice line for that. Beautiful work from Stein, so he's moved up into P5. So Dommy Lee will want to try and fight back for that one, but at the moment, P5 belongs to Stein, who's P2 in the championship. P1 in the championship is Honesy, and he's currently P1 at the moment, 1.7 second gap from Kachow. Looks like Henry Rogers. Oh, that's is that Tiny Darth Spike? Does he have? Oh, I thought he ghosted out there. Henry Rogers is taking Mr. Woot. This is around the outside of turn 14. So he moves up into P7. Still, nonetheless, that's a good result for Mr. Woot at the moment, P8. He's going to come under a lot of pressure, though, from Tiny Darth Spike in the other Red Bull at the moment, as they go under the bridge of turn 18. I think Tiny Darth Spike, he might be on the hard tyres. He is. The other two are on their mediums. So it'll be interesting to see how that plays out in terms of pace. He's got the DRS up the front straight, but so did Mr. Woot. So wasn't able to utilise that to get past. Just keeping an eye on the battle between Callie Robb and Kachow. It's out to 7/10 at the moment. So we'll stay with these guys. Sam Spaniel, though, was getting quite close to one there. So Mark of Kenya has moved his way up into P10 at the moment. So good to see him. He started P20, I believe. What about Exotic? We'll get back to that Mr. Woot, Tiny Darth Spike little scuffle. As we see Stuart Little, he's taken Sam Spaniel. Oh, looks like he's spun. That was around turn 8 and 9. So does he have damage? He does. All right, so the AlphaTauri of Sam Spaniel, he's got damage. He's going to have to come into the pits and get that replaced. So we've lost 4 already. We've lost FedEx runner Yurtis, Toss the Caber, and Pump on Purpose. Well, lap 9 of 31. This is round 11 of season 3 of the Nemesis Racing League. And it's Honesy leading from Kachow, from Callie Robb, from Dace, Stein, Dommy Lee, Henry Rogers, Mr. Woot, Tiny Darth Spike, and Mark of Kenya in the top 10. So we'll keep an eye on him. As Mr. Woot now under pressure from Tiny Darth Spike. Looks like he did ghost out, but he's gone down into... Oh, I'm not too sure what's happening here. I thought I saw Tiny Darth Spike getting past him there for a second. He's still with us, though. He's not ghosted out, Mr. Woot. He has had internet issues in the past. And we see Sam Spaniel pitting at the moment. We saw him get that damage. It's Stein, though, who's only 3/10 behind Dace TG. Callie Robb, though, this is for P2. So they're just at turn 14. Oh, he runs wide there, hits the wall, turn 14. We're going to go into this series of right and left-handers. There's the first set. Then turn 18 under the bridge. Turn 19. We'll see if we can get a run on him coming through the final exit and use the DRS up the back straight. Because Kachow won't have any DRS available. He's too far behind. Let's see if we can get a good run on him. Nah, he's way too far back at the moment. Alright, so those two are going to continue to battle away. But the other close one that we have on track at the moment is Stein and Dace in the Ferrari. So So Dommy Lee is stuck with these two. So he might just be happy just to sit back and see how these two scrap it out and see if he can just take advantage. As we see Stein, this is coming into turn 7, got the inside line. Dace will have the inside line for the next one. For the right-hander, he's going to make him go around the hard way. He does. Nice driving from Stein there. So Dace certainly made him earn it, but he got around. So Stein just showing the class of driver that he is. And he is, he's P2 in the championship. So giving a good example there of how good and close he can race it as well as be out in front. As we see Exotic and Mark of Kenya swapping positions. Oh, this is a nice little battle here. So is that a back marker though? I know Exotic. No, it's not. No, this is fighting for position. So there's Stuart Little and Mark of Kenya go through. So Exotic drops 2 positions. That's 1 in the background there. He's looking to get a piece of this action too. So that's Stuart Little P10, Mark of Kenya P11. So the two Mercedes drivers line astern there. Oh, that was a big move from Exotic. He's overcooked it. He's gone into the wall. So that was at turn 14 as he got damage. It was a pretty hefty hit into the wall. It was a decent thud you could hear. He's lost his front wing end plate on the left-hand side. So last week's driver of the day is in a bit of trouble at the moment, as we see Henry Rogers on the mediums pitting. That's a little bit early, I reckon, for the mediums, maybe. Yeah, it's about on schedule. It's going to go to hards. All right, so he's going to have to do 19 laps on the hards. Looks like he's serving some sort of penalty there as well. Still in there, so he's off and away now. What about the... Oh, okay, so Stein has been able to move away from Dace. So he's now 6.8 seconds behind Kelly Robb. And we'll see if Dommy Lee hasn't quite had the pace to keep to get past Dace. So they're both on the medium tyres. So pit stops could be incoming shortly for these two. What about Juan? He is battling it out with Mark of Kenya at the moment as they head through turn 10, the old Singapore sling. Alright, so good result for Juan. So we're up 12 of 31. Mr. Woot and Tiny Darspike. So, and we've had a change for... Oh, no, sorry. So, Holmesy's pitted. Holmesy's in the pit, and Kachow has followed him. So, Kelly Robb stayed out. So, we'll see what Kelly Robb does in response to this as Holmesy goes onto the hard tyres. Let's see what Kachow goes onto. You'd have to assume the hard tyres. Yep, beautiful. So, they've both made their one stop for the race. So that moves Tiny Darspike and Mr. Woot up a couple of positions, but obviously they haven't pitted. Dommy Lee pitted as well. So pit lane time, you're looking at 25.9 seconds in total from entry, pit and exit. Mr. Woot's gotten back past Tiny Darspike. So he's having a good race at the moment. He's P4, yet to pit. But still, nonetheless, a good race. All right, where are we? So, Kelly Robb in the lead. Let's see if he pits. He's coming around turn 18 at the moment. Holmesy and Stein, they're not too far behind. Where is Holmesy? He's, coming around turn 14 at the moment. So, let's see if Kelly Robb responds. He does. All right. So Holmesy's just coming through turn 17. Yeah, it was a 25.9 second time time spent in pits. Mr. Woot gets a speedy drive-through penalty. Speeding under safety car. So we do have a safety car at the moment. So that's perfect for Kelly Robb. I'm not too sure who's caused the safety car. So Stein's pitted. Honesy's pitted. Dace is pitted as well. Alright, so I'm not too sure. I had to step away there for a second. I'm not too sure what's caused the safety car at the moment. But that's kicked off a flurry of activity. So yeah, Honesy and Kachow pitted again for hards. But they went to the hards, so I'm not too sure what's happened there. Where is the safety car? Who's it picked up? Kelly Robb. Alright. So everyone's pitted. Everyone's looking pretty good. So drive-through penalty, speeding under safety car for 1. Okay, so I'm not too sure what's actually kicked off the safety car though. We've got a few penalties. 1, Stuart Little, Tiny Darspike and Mr. Woot. Yeah, so alright, well this has worked out perfectly for Kelly Robb. So Kelly Robb, Honesy, Kachow, Stein, Dace, Dommy Lee, Mr. Woot are all on hard tyres. Tiny Darspike on the mediums. Well, can he make it home on those mediums? That'd be a bit of a stretch. Henry Rogers, 1 lap old tyre. Stuart Little is on the hard. So the top 10 runners, yeah, it's looking like everyone's pitted. So everyone's going to be able to get home on those tyres, especially on the hards. The only ones you'd be questioning would be the medium runners. That's Marco Kenya, Delta Lima, Exotic and Tiny Darspike as well. So they can generally run between 16 to 18 laps. We've got 17 to go. This is our second safety car. Stein gets a 5-second penalty for speeding under the safety car. So that's huge for him that he's P2 in the championship. So he's got that 5-second penalty to serve. There's no more pit stops to make either, so you won't serve them under the pit stop. So that's going to be served after the race. All right. Yeah, not too sure what kicked off the safety car because we'd had already lost pump on purpose, Toss, Yurtis and FedEx runner. Haven't seen anyone else drop out. Who's gone into the pits there? Mr. Woot. So he was already on the hard tyres. All right. Anyway, well, we're the halfway mark. We're lap 15 of 31. And this is our second safety car. So we've had more safety cars in this race than we'd had all season. But Singapore kind of does do that. And look, it spices up the racing, which is good, which is what we want. From a spectator view, of course, we want. From a driver's point of view, you want to have the smoothest race possible. But it looks like hopefully we only get this remaining lap. We've got a few stragglers at the back there. Mr. Woot, Ted Wardo, Delta Lima and Sam Spaniel. But hopefully they can pick up. The safety car's coming through turn 8 at the moment. Those guys are just making their way through turn 3. Hopefully they can catch up the back. They're doing their utmost to catch it as quick as they can. We'll give Delta Lima a little bit of airtime. We haven't seen him much today. Sam Spaniel's right behind him. So these are the last two to catch the train. Sometimes the safety car does just go anyway. Even if guys aren't all the way to the back of the pack. It's usually when it's closer to the end of the race. So at the halfway mark, you'd have to think that it won't let them go. But they're just making their way around turn 13. The pack's currently going through turn 14 at the moment. So they've caught up the back nicely. Let's just wait and see. If I was a betting man. Here we go. All right. So safety car in this lap. Great. So it's Kelly Robb who's essentially going to become the safety car now. He'll control the field. And we're going to get back underway. So we've got some time. We've got some penalties in there. We know about Stein, Tiny Darspike, Stuart Little, Juan and Mr. Woot all have penalties to serve. No pit stops to make again, unless we get another safety car. That could change things. But we'll see how it pans out after the race. So Kelly Robb leads us away to begin. Lap 16. Looks like everyone's gotten away nicely. No spinners at the final turn. This is Tiny Darth Spike. Dace TG's got off. So Dommy Lee. Oh, Dace is hit. Does he spin around? No. So a bit of argy-bargy there from Tiny Darth Spike as he's trying to make his way past Dace. They're still fighting it out as they go through turn 5. But looks like everyone managed to get away cleanly this time as well. So no spinners. And we're back underway. Alright, so there's a little bit of contact there between Tiny Darth Spike and Dace TG at the restart. But yeah, Dommy Lee finally was able to get past Dace on the restart. So caught him napping a little bit there into turn 1. But good work by Dommy Lee. So it's Kelly Robb from Honesy, from Kachow, Stein, Dommy Lee, Tiny Darth Spike, Dace, Henry Rogers, Exotic, and Stuart Little. Mark of Kenya just outside the points at the moment in P11 in the Mercedes. Where's Juan? Juan's up to P12. Oh, Mark of Kenya making the move on his teammate as they head into turn 14. Yep, so they've swapped positions. So now Mark of Kenya's P10, Stuart Little's P11. This is a good little train here of Tiny Darth Spike, Dace, Henry Rogers, and we've got Exotic there. So Exotic's been able to come back. He's in P9 at the moment. He had the... Oh! Henry Rogers runs very wide at the final turn there. So almost looked like he was going to the wall. So Stuart Little and Juan are both pitting. Or are they serving drive-throughs? I think they're serving drive-through penalties. Yep, so they're serving their penalties. So not a bad idea to do that. As we see, Ted Wardo moves up into P11 at the moment. That's his favourite finishing position, P11. We'll see if he can move up into the points. He's dropped Delta Lima down into P12 in the Haas. So Exotic is having a big go at the moment at Henry Rogers. The gap out in front, it's just under a second. It's 9/10. It's dropping a little bit now to 8/10 between Kelly Robb and Honesy. So Kelly Robb's managing to hold Honesy off at the moment. Kachow's a further 1.4 seconds behind Honesy at the moment. Tiny Darth Spike and Stein are pretty close together as well. Just stay on board with this battle at the moment. We've got Mark of Kenya now starting to move up behind Exotic. Ooh. So Exotic. Oh, Henry Rogers gets it a little bit loose on the exit there. That was turn 2021. So will they both have DRS here? No, only Exotic will have the DRS. Oh no, DRS is not open yet. Okay. Alright, so this is a good little battle here. We'll just we'll stay on board with these guys. Just conscious of the drivers at the front. It's a 1.2 second gap between Kelly Robb and Honesy. Oh, and that is Juan. Juan's had some kind of issue. He's ghosted out, has he? Not too sure what happened to Juan there. Mark of Kenya though, and Exotic. So Mark of Kenya's gotten past Exotic. He's into P9 now at the moment. So he's going to try and hunt down Henry Rogers in the McLaren. So we're lap 18 of 31. Just looking at that 5-second penalty for Stein. I know we've got 13 laps to go still. But if we have another safety car close towards the end, that's going to really... Oh, that was Delta Lima's gone around. That was turn 13 at the hairpin to getting onto the Esplanade Drive. So He's spun around. He's in P13 at the moment. Okay, so... Alright, so yeah, gap out the front. Yeah, Kelly Robb doing a great job of holding off Honesy at the moment. 1.4 second gap. Tiny Darspike trying to make his way, make some headway into Stein at the moment. And Stein is catching Kachow. So Stein does have that 5 second penalty though. So he'll want to climb up as far as he can. Look, he might even serve it at some stage. Not too sure, but we'll have to wait and see. Oh, Tiny Darspike going up the inside there. Oh, can he do it? He's going to go around, he's be the outside line for the next turn. But no, thought better of it. He had to pull out of that. Okay, so we've got some good close racing here. This is all for P3, 4, 5 and 6. Where's Dommy Lee? He's 7/10 back off this pack. So I dare say he'd close it down. Alright, so this is definitely, this is making it a lot easier for Honesy though. He's not having to worry about Kachow, who's 2.25 seconds back, who's a big break lock up into turn 14. Doesn't open up the door yet for Stein, but Kachow's under a little bit of pressure at the moment to hold that P3. He's got Tiny Darspike and Dommy Lee coming in behind as well. Dace remains in P7, Henry Rogers P8, Mark of Kenya P9 and Exotic in P10. Speaking of Mark of Kenya, Henry Rogers goes off as well, so he goes into P8. So Mark of Kenya has moved up from P20 on the grid into P8. So next on his list is Dace TG, as we're watching Exotic and Henry Rogers in the background battling it out into turn 1. So Mark of Kenya making his way through the field. Just having a look now again at Tiny Darspike and Stein in their pursuit of Kachow. Three pretty solid drivers, all consistent point scorers. Honesy's started to close the gap a little bit to Kelly Robb. It's down to 7/10. Oh, it's back up to 8/10, but sort of it was hovering around the second mark before. We'll stay with this little trio for now. Or actually, as I say that, Sam Spaniel, nah, okay. So we'll stay with these guys. Just keeping an eye on Honesy though, and Kelly Robb, P1, P2. Sector 2 yellow flag, that looks like it's Mr. Woot. That's at turn 8. He's dropped down into P16, so it's gone a little bit awry for poor old Mr. Woot in P16. Pack's generally pretty spread out at the moment. There's the Dace, Mark of Kenya, Henry Rogers and Exotic little foursome going on there. And then this other quad of cars. Yeah, it's down to 6/10 now. Oh, Kelly Robb, 3 second time penalty, multiple warnings. So he's obviously been pushing pretty hard. He gets a time warning. So that's opened it up nicely for Honesy now, who's only 3/10 behind. So he's closed him right down. He's taken out some big chunks there. We still have 10 laps remaining. Both of these guys don't need to stop again. So that'll make it interesting with Kelly Robb and Stein with their penalties, as well as Tiny Darspike. 3 of the 4 drivers. The other one is Exotic, who has a penalty. Very rare to see drivers like Honesy get a penalty as well, so we'll see if he can keep it clean too. Alright, so he's dropped back to his second gap. We'll get back to these two, so they're running pretty close at the moment. This is P3, P4. This is P2 and P3 in the championship. Kachow's P3, Stein's P2. Dommy Lee is in P4 at the moment. So this will have championship implications. We're moving into the business end of the season as well. So it's a 15-round season. We're in round 11 at the moment. There's only 4 to go after this one. So it's coming down to the business end. As we see, I think that was Dommy Lee, or one of the Red Bulls ran a little bit wide there. Stein having a really close look now at Kachow. Just stalking him at the moment. Kachow's doing a good job of holding him off though. And Honesy's still 8/10 behind Kelly Robb, so he might have, he did pick up that penalty, he might have run wide somewhere, but he's able to maintain it back out to 8/10 with 9 laps to go. Okay, so just having a scan him down the field. Yeah, big gaps at the moment everywhere, bar this little group of 4 cars. It's 1.3 seconds now. Oh, that was Mr. Woot ghosting. Is he out of the session? I'm not sure. Alright, we'll have to wait and see on that one. He's down in P16 at the moment. But Stein is just piling on the pressure on Kachow, who is absorbing everything he can give at the moment, and he's not giving an inch. So this has been a battle that's been going on since the restart. The 2 Red Bulls there are holding their own. Tiny Darspike in front of Dommy Lee. So even with the DRS, still not able to provide an advantage enough to get past into turn 1. Dommy Lee, as you see, Henry Rogers receives a time penalty there at the moment. So of these 4 cars, Tiny Darspike, I believe, is the only one on the mediums. Yeah, Dommy Lee's on the hards as well. Doesn't seem to be giving him much of a pace advantage. It's out to a second now. Honesy and Kelly Robb. Stuart Little is going to have a look at Delta Lima here as they're into turn 5, and he's made pretty easy work of that. So Stuart Little moves up into P13. And you step away for a second, and that's what happens. So Kachow has been overtaken by by Stein, as we see Mr. Woot. I think he's dropped out. But okay, so we've had a change of position. So Stein has finally gotten past Kachow, and Dommy Lee has moved past Tiny Darspike as well. So we've had a little bit of action happening now that was brewing for a while. Stein was piling the pressure on Kachow, and he's finally given in. So he's dropped down into P4. Now he's under immense pressure from Dommy Lee. So I think these 2 were battling it out before. We'll see if Tiny Darspike can keep up with these 2. But Stein is now he's skipped away. He's opened up a 1.6 second gap. And Kachow, so he's got damage. Kachow's got damage. So in that scuffle there, he's wounded his car. So that he's going to drop down a fair way. He's probably going to come out around P11, P12. Mark of Kenya, though, has moved up into P7 in the Mercedes. So great result for him at the moment. As we see Kachow, so he's going to be, about P11. Alright, so that now changes things a little bit. So Kelly Robb is still leading from Honesy. He has a second gap on him. Further, 5.8 seconds behind Honesy is Stein in the AlphaTauri. And then we've got Dommy Lee, Tiny Darspike, Dace, Mark of Kenya, Henry Rogers. Good result for Ted Wardo. Hopefully he can hold that, get some points again. So he's P9. Sam Spaniel in the other AlphaTauri, he's P10. Stuart Little there in 11th. Kachow's just moved up into P13, or down into 13. He's behind his teammate in the other Williams, Exotic. So we'll see if he can make his way back up through the field. What tyres is he on at the moment? Kachow's gone on the softs. So he's going to have some serious pace compared to all these other guys on their older medium and hard tyres. So we'll keep an eye on him as well, and we'll see how far he can progress up at the moment. But currently it's a 1.3 second gap between P1 and P2. It's Kelly Robb leading from Honesy, from Stein in the AlphaTauri. We're lap 25 of 31. This is round 11 of 15, season 3 of the Nemesis Racing League. Thanks for joining us. Hope you're all doing well, keeping safe wherever you are in whatever part of the world, and hope you're enjoying the racing. Henry Rogers is currently P8 at the moment. Delta Lima, so Exotic has gone into the pits. Let's say that, I wonder what that's for, if he's got some damage. We'll just keep with him at the moment. It's pretty spread out field at the moment. Alright, that was good for Kachow, who's moved up into P12. He's serving as well. We've still got 16 runners, so we've got Pump on Purpose, Toss the Caber, Yurtis and FedEx Runner have all dropped out. And we're with Stuart Little here in P12. Henry Rogers, so he's half a second behind Mark of Kenya at the moment, who's in P7. But other than that, it's a pretty well spread field, as we see him just sort of scrape the wall there, coming out of turn 17. Oh no, Mark of Kenya! Mark of Kenya, that was coming around turn 21. Oh no, well it's perfect timing for the pits though, so he's lost it through there. He was doing so well, so yeah, if you're going to crash anywhere, that's the place you want to crash. So it might not have too much of an effect on his race. He's pitting for the softs at the moment with 5 laps left. Sam Spaniel, we see Kachow sets the fastest time on those soft tyres. So he goes a 1:37.5. His Q1 time was a 1:34.6 on the softs. So it shows just a difference in race pace versus quali pace. Delta Lima has moved up into P12. I wonder if he could score points today. That'd be good for him. Where are we? So Henry Rogers was closer before, but that was Mark of Kenya. Okay. So Ted Wardo's moved up into P8 as well. Sam Spaniel's P9. Thinking about the gap now. So Stein with his 5-second penalty, that would drop him down into about P5 at the moment. That would move Dommy Lee into a podium position as well at the moment. So a great comeback for Dommy Lee after last week's disappointing result. It'd be great if he can grab a podium today. There'd be good point scoring for the Red Bull team. Although Tiny Darspike, he does have a penalty at the moment, so he'd probably shake out around P7. Ted Wardo's a fair way off there, but we'll see if there's any other penalties that are accumulated. And Henry Rogers also has a penalty as well, so we'll keep an eye on that after the race. But we have 4 laps remaining of the Singapore Grand Prix around Marina Bay. It's currently Kelly Robb. So Kelly Robb doing a great job. As we see Kachow move through into P9 at the moment. He takes Sam Spaniel through the turn 1, 2, 3 little complex there at the beginning of the lap. So he's on the soft tyres. Recently set the fastest time. He's probably going to take Ted Wardo pretty easily as well, who's on the much older medium tyres from his first original pit stop. I think that was done under safety car. So yeah, Kelly Robb's put on a great drive today. He took the lead. He does have the penalty, so He's got the 3-second time penalty where he was pushing pretty hard, so he'd drop down into P2. Holmesy would take the win. Wouldn't be enough to drop him back into P3. Yeah, so it's going to be interesting how it shakes out after this. We'll keep a very close eye on it. Good to see Dace TG as well. So he's managed to turn his qualifying pace into race pace. So he's on for a really good result at the moment. Let's see what his results have been actually in the past. Quickly. As he comes down the front straight there. So he's giving chase to Tiny Darspike in the other Red Bull there. So Dace TG, so he finished 10th last week. That was his best finishing position. Before that, it was a 14th, a DNF, a 12th, 11th, 13th, and 15th. He didn't race for the first 3 races this season. So yeah, he's on for his best result so far. So he's getting faster and faster. As I was looking away, I think, did he just take Tiny Darspike? I think he just did. Alright, so he's P5, even better. And now Henry Rogers is going to hassle Tiny Darspike as well, who is a perennial points finisher. He has a penalty. I don't think that would affect him too much because we only have 3 laps to go. Kachau's 16 seconds behind this little group here, and him and Henry Rogers both have time penalties, but I don't think that's going to be enough to change the result for Kachau to move him up any further. So he'd be really disappointed with that incident, Kachau. So moving that he had when Dommy Lee and Stein were coming through. So he'd be quite disappointed. He's in P3 in the championship. That he might swap over now with Dommy Lee if Dommy Lee can get a podium today. So those two have been sort of crisscrossing over in the later part of the season, as we see Sam Spaniel. I thought there was going to be a move there. Juan takes Delta Lima. So Juan moves up into P13. Oh, and Henry Rogers is all over the back of Tiny Darspike. This is for P6 and P7, going around the outside. Turn 7's a left-hander, so he had the inside line anyway, but he's able to get the move done well before then. Runs a little wide on the exit. Marco Kenya picks up a 5-second penalty, speeding in the pit lane. So Henry Rogers on track, moves into P6. Tiny Darspike drops down into P7. Juan's moved up into P12, so if there's some sort of stroke of luck that he can get to finish in the points, we'll have to wait and see. But at the moment, it's Cali Rob on track, 1.2 seconds in front of Honesy. Has that 3-second time penalty though, so they would swap positions. Honesy would take the win. Stein has the 5-second time penalty. He would drop down into 4th. Yep, so that's going to change a little bit once the race is over. There's only 2 laps left. But nonetheless, Cali Rob has performed excellently today. He's put in a sensational effort. As we're watching Stuart Little and Kachau going up the back straight, heading into the right-hander of turn 14. Kachau has the inside line, locks it up, goes deep, hits the barrier on the exit there as he slides it through. So he's not able to score any points from that. So Stuart Little holds firm on P10 at the moment. Ted Wardo watch, he's in P8 at the moment. So a nice little bundle of points for him today if he can stay there. Tiny Darspike and Henry Rogers still, no, they're not battling it out anymore. So Henry Rogers, he's going to try and close in Dace TG. As I see, it's 9 tenths, between 8 and 9 tenths, the difference between Cali Rob and Honesy on the track. Keep a close eye on that as we... Oh, did Henry Rogers have a little moment there? So we're lap 30 of 31, so we're coming to the end of round 11 of the Nemesis Racing League. As Kachow's pitting again. Alright, maybe he's going to go set a fresh new set of softs and go for the fastest lap. Delta Lima moves up into 12. Stuart Little and Sam Spaniel swapping positions. So Stuart Little gets himself up into P9. So a good result for the Mercedes driver today. And Kelly, looks like Kelly, Rob and Honesy are about to begin the final lap. Yep, they've just crossed the line. So we'll get on board with them shortly. Can Honesy force him into a mistake on the final lap? He's been pretty unflappable all day though, Kelly Rob. He's held off. Oh, that looks like Kachow with a missing front wing. So hopefully he doesn't get in the way. Hopefully he moves aside for these two to come through. That's Mr. Woot in P16. Was the yellow flag in Sector 2. That doesn't really affect these guys. Sorry, that's not Mr. Woot. That's Kelly Rob, sorry. So it's only half a second gap. Yeah, so Kelly Rob, he's been pretty unflappable. Other than the 3-second time penalty that he got early, I think he was pushing pretty hard to keep Honesy behind him. But yeah, he's put on a sterling drive today on track. Obviously, he's not going to take home the win, but on track, he's going to finish P1. As it stands at the moment, we'll have to wait and see as they head up the Esplanade Drive straight, heading into the right-hander of turn 14. So only 9 turns to go before Kelly Rob takes the on-track win. But the points for first will go through to Honesy, though. He'll extend his championship lead. And looks like Stein, he got a 5-second penalty. So he's 3.6 seconds ahead of Dommy Lee. So looks like Dommy Lee will move into P3. So it'll be Kelly Rob, P1, on track. Great drive today. He's got the penalty. So he's going to drop down into P2. So Honesy will take P1. He'll take the points for that. Stein's going to come home P3 on track. But we'll have to wait and see for Dommy Lee to see if he gets within 5 seconds. He does. So Dommy Lee moves up into P3 for the final step of the podium. Dace TG comes home with a great result for him today. P5. Well done to Dace. Henry Rogers, another strong performance. 2 weeks in a row, the newcomer to the league. Tiny Darspike, he has a penalty, so we'll see if that makes any difference between him and Henry Rogers at the moment. But points again for Tiny Darspike. It's death, taxes, and Tiny Darspike getting points. Ted Wardo, great result for Ted Wardo. It's been a bit rough for him recently, but he's battling it out to the final turn. So he gets P8 in front of Stuart Little, P9. So good result for those two. And Sam Spaniel picks up another point for AlphaTauri. So that'll go towards the Constructors' Championship for AlphaTauri. Juan coming around in P11, so he's just missed out on points today. Still a really great result for him. Good to see a good qualifying performance and a good race performance as well. So he crosses the line, and then Kachow. It all went wrong for him with that battle with Dommy Lee and Tiny Darspike and Stein and all that earlier on. So he sets a purple sector there. So he goes P12, and then Delta Lima, he's battling it out with Mark of Kenya. Can he get P13? Yes, he can. All right, so not a bad race there. That was all right. We see Delta Lima come across the line, P13. Driver of the day, Cody's giving it to Ted Wardo. My driver of the day, I'm going to give it to Kelly Rob. I thought it was a fantastic effort from the American today to hold off a hard-charging Honesy all day. So great race by him. We'll do a quick little wrap-up, and then we'll get out of here. As we see Honesy pick up his trophy, spray the champagne. All right. So that's pretty much it at the moment. So that's it. So Honesy takes it from Kelly Rob, from Dommy Lee, gets on the final step of the podium. It's Stein, Dace, Henry Rogers, Tiny Darspike, Ted Wardo, Stuart Little, and Sam Spaniel all in the points. The DNF runners were Pump on Purpose, Toss the Caber, Yurtis, and FedEx Runner. So that was it for round 11 of the Nemesis Racing League. Next week, they're back in Australia, so it's going to be a league versus league race. So NRL versus FRL. I think it's over like 2 days. It'll be like Sunday morning Australian time, which is Saturday night UK time, and then there's another one they reverse it. Whatever, I don't know. But yeah, check it out. I don't know the sort of ins and outs of it, but yeah, I'll join you back again though for round 12 for Nemesis Racing League. That's on the 20th of Feb. That's going to be in China. So hopefully you can join us back for that one. Hopefully you all enjoyed the race as well. Enjoy the rest of your morning, afternoon, evening, whatever you do. Stay safe, and we'll see you next time.